There's one of the deer. He looks like he's dead, but he's tranquilized by, we found out quite by mistake, I'm sorry, quite by accident that by blindfolding the deer, it calmed him right down. And then later, we found out by putting sugar on their tongue that it would really completely tranquilize them. We'll show you that in a minute. Here's Headquarters Point. We set up headquarters south of the Rotenburg area, just on the brim of the L8 Canal. It was a busy, busy place. Look closely now. You'll have to look fast to see some of these participants. We put up a tent there to shade the deer. Look at there. There's George Dennison. There's Pap Dennison, his brother. Pap was a forerunner of the airboat. We thought that he invented the airboat, but we later found out that that he didn't. But he at least invented the first one around here. Pap was a great conservationist, and he was a namesake in our community as far as conservation is concerned. He put a stop to doe killing. He's one of the first real true conservationists in our area. There's the half tracks over in the Rotenburg area on the brim, waiting to get a load of deer. They were quite crude back then. They weren't as sophisticated as later on. Most of them were single idlers with junkyard engines in them. There's an organizational meeting where Omis and I are talking to the guys. We're explaining the rules of the hunt so that we stress safety real strongly. All the boats had to be flagged. We told them that there'll be plenty of time for drinking that cold beer after the work's over. There's Arthur Dennison. He's passed on. There's Bob McKelvey there. There's Ray Rotenburg with the ball cap on. There's Bob McKelvey with the black hat. There's me pulling a grass rake that was disengaged from the front of a boat when it encountered the willows. See, the grass rolls up on the bow of those boats, a cylindrical roll up on the bow. That's where we hid our raincoat and our beanie weenies and our goodies. Flat rudders, no airfoils back then days, just a flat piece of plywood or metal with a pipe around it. These kids that are helping us here now are grown men now. And in most cases, they're taking their father's place in conservation. That heritage is handed down to the next generation, and I, for one, am really appreciative of the way you young fellows are taking charge and doing such a great job in conservation. It's handed down from your father, and it's heartwarming and appreciative. You guys are doing a great job, you younger fellows. There's the boats leaving the crowded area at the landing. Of course, we're getting a little prop wash there from some of the props. That's why the water and the smoke is apparent. This area here, we're going through a bunch of willows not far from the levee, and it was probably the most deer-producing part of the Everglades. There's Bob Pilkington. His wife Martha was secretary of our club. They had a camp down on the Miami Canal. We stayed with them that night between the hunts. There's a random shot Bob has taken of just going through the Everglades. Bob's first ride on an airboat, and he was awed and he couldn't get over it. He never knew that an airboat would do what it did. He did a great job doing this, filming this thing, because you understand that back in those days, that big movie camera was a load, and he had it, and he had to shoot these films from a bouncing boat. The light wasn't ideal, so he did a great job. There's Bobby Stossel touring his sector, spotted a deer, come get it.